How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their source.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time.
Diddy sent those to 50?
It's like funeral flowers.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt. My favorite villain? I kind of like Diddy.
There are no misconceptions about me.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
Jay's definitely.
Jay helped you?
Yeah.
How did he
As a
help you?
competitor.
Explain it.
Yeah, because he never was someone that you communicate with that you're like friends with the person. But I always respected him because he was never an actual competitor in actual fact. He was someone who was a competitor through perception.
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z.
And B was, one time she jumped off of the ledge. He ain't running over because she thought me and Jay had issues, and I was like, and I was like, did she really just jump down and run over here like
Beyonce jumped off a ledge.
Yeah, what happened? It was in the Cosmopolitan, huh?
She really a superhero.
She jumped down and no, she was like, this what? Like that Bonnie and Clyde for real? You try this or what, boy? I'm here.
Word.
Sound like at me. She looked, I said,
Was Solange with her?
She looked at me like that. I was like, what?
A new storm is forming, one that ties together long-running industry conflicts, recent scandals, and old suspicions. At the center is 50 Cent, who for the past 20 years has publicly criticized what he sees as protected power inside entertainment. He has mentioned Diddy repeatedly, but now he's implying the conversation may go beyond just one billionaire. He suggested the Diddy story was only the beginning, potential documentary material that could dig deeper into industry connections. Then he posted 2 words that went viral: "You're next." Shortly after, fans began speculating and naming celebrities like Oprah Winfrey, Beyoncé, and Jay-Z, not because of verified claims, but because they've been in the same elite circles for years. The timing, coming right after a major Diddy documentary, pushed people to re-examine old partnerships, new business ties, and appearances at the same private events. For years, those overlaps were considered normal at the highest level of celebrity culture. Now, they're being viewed through a different lens. It's still unclear whether this leads to real disclosures or just online conjecture. But one thing is certain, industry networks are paying closer attention to 50. And if he follows through on his teasers, this may only be the beginning.
These were private conversations, and that he and Diddy could talk openly, and Mark could talk to Diddy not just as a client, but as a person, and try to guide him in a time leading up to his arrest. And unbeknownst to Mark Agnifilo, Diddy has got this guy recording the conversation as he's sitting there saying, "You are screwing this up. You are messing up this case. We're losing." And knowing that that's on tape. And it's almost like he's performing for the camera and not telling Mark what's going on. And the really enraging part about it is that Mark Agnifilo won this case for Diddy with legal strategy. It wasn't just an accident that this jury that had heard all of this in the news before the trial voted not guilty on all the serious charges. It was Mark Agnifilo that did that. Yet Diddy secretly records this guy and embarrasses him. And yeah, you could say, well, Diddy never expected that it would end up being broadcast somewhere else. Well, okay, but Diddy was planning on using it, or he wouldn't have had it recorded in the first place. So it's just really, really unfair. And I know that in a way this sounds crazy, that I'm getting so upset about Diddy, and yet there's video of Diddy beating Cassie. Well, that's horrendous, but that doesn't mean you can't look at something else as well. And I just think as a lawyer, I just think this is just so outrageous that he would do something like this, and not even understanding what Agnifilo's legal theory was. Because I will tell you that when we did our first documentary on Diddy, which was 8 months before the trial, Mark Agnifilo said to me on camera that he is going to tell this jury that this was a successful black man that prosecutors were trying to take down because they couldn't get into his bank accounts because they were clean, and he couldn't deal with tax. They couldn't deal with taxes because he wasn't committing tax fraud. So they go into his bedroom. And that's what Mark Agnifilo said 8 months before. And he goes into the trial and he essentially wins that argument. Whether you believe it or not, a jury that sat through the whole thing, they believed it. And ultimately they convicted him on this BS Mann Act thing. So Diddy won that case. And one of the reasons he won the case is something that Agnifilo got criticized for. That when he did the documentary with me, he was making a joke about the baby oil. Remember, he said, oh, well, you know, I didn't know he bought in bulk. He must have bought 1,000 bottles at Costco. And a lot of people just slammed him for that and said, how dare you? You're being disrespectful. The baby oil is the smoking gun in this case. Agnifilo knew all along that the baby oil was Diddy's best defense. Because when Agnifilo got before that jury in closing arguments, he looked at them and he said, well, the feds came in with their armor and artillery and guns. And what did they do? They got 1,000 bottles of baby oil off the streets. Ooh, he said, the streets are safer now. And the jury laughed. And that laugh told Agnifilo he should keep going on that. And that the trial itself was absurd because the baby oil was really the...
Two supporters also pointed to earlier moments when 50 Cent claimed that powerful people in Hollywood protect their inner circles. Now that he's known for calling out industry conflict, his comments are being taken more seriously and sounding louder than before. His "Your Next" message didn't land as a joke, especially after he released documentary content that reached a global audience. Many took it as a serious warning. To understand why, yet people look back to the early 2000s and the long-running tension between 50 Cent and Jay-Z. Their relationship was competitive from the start, shaped by lyrical jabs, industry politics, and moments tied to the Summer Jam era. Like many hip-hop rivalries, it blended personal friction, professional positioning, and performance-based rivalry. Over time, their paths separated. Jay-Z evolved into a low-profile business tycoon focused on partnerships, brands, sports ventures, and corporate power. Then 50 Cent became the outspoken disruptor, building his empire through business moves, media, and blunt public commentary. They represent two different power styles, one built on visibility and confrontation, the other on boardrooms and silence. That contrast is why people pay attention whenever 50 hints at exposing something, not because there are confirmed facts, but because his history suggests he rarely speaks without turning it into a major event. But whether this becomes real disclosure or just more rivalry-fueled speculation remains to be seen. But the internet is watching closely because of the history.
Set his sights on someone new after the Diddy Netflix documentary. If you aren't aware, 50 Cent has been getting insane feedback from the Netflix documentary he made on Diddy. Sean Combs' The Reckoning is what it's called, and it's #1 all over Netflix, beating even Stranger Things. Diddy himself has responded to it, saying the stories are false, of course, denying everything, and even trying to do a cease and desist on the Netflix documentary. And after this Diddy documentary, a lot of people have been wondering who's the next person that deserves to get exposed. And Jay-Z is the one that a lot of people are pointing their finger at. And the reason why Jay-Z has been getting a lot of this type of backlash is because Jay-Z was really close to Diddy. At one point, Diddy was even calling him his brother, and that Jay-Z's the only one that can call him his real name, Sean, that maybe there's something on Jay-Z's side that has been going on behind the scenes. Now, there hasn't been any solid proof yet, but Nicki Minaj has been going at Jay-Z for quite some time, talking about Jay-Z is manipulative and he steals and He's been pushing a narrative, and that Rock Nation has control and power over a lot of things. And I can kind of understand where she's coming from to a certain extent. We got to remember when Jay-Z went up on the Grammy stage and said Beyonce never won Album of the Year and complained about that. Literally the following year, Beyonce wins Album of the Year, which is just something like that doesn't show you that there is some power going on there, that there is something behind the scenes that Jay-Z controls. It's clear as day that it's all politics on who wins Grammys, you know, who gets the better light and things. So that kind of opened my eyes, you know, as to Rock Nation's power and how they manipulate things in the media. I'll never forget Jay-Z would get this like special treatment all the time when it comes to the media. I mean, Hot 97, when they interviewed Jay-Z, they literally rolled out a red carpet. They never did that for any other artist. So Jay-Z's always had this kind of special treatment when it came to things. But now the question is Jay-Z involved in crazier things? I mean, there's been a lot of speculation in a lot of different ways, and people are pointing their attention towards 50 Cent wanting him to do a Jay-Z documentary. And it looks like he might actually do it, because on Instagram, he posted a drawing of Jay-Z that kind of makes fun of his looks. And he posted that photo and he said this in the caption: "Please stop sending me stuff like this. I'm not going to post it." Basically making a joke, you know, because obviously he posted it on his social media. But, and here's the interesting but in this, is someone commented on the post, and the comment got liked by 50 Cent. And this is the comment. It's from Dom KMDA. I hope I pronounced that right, Dom Kamada. He commented saying, "My only question, he's next, isn't he?" And 50 ended up liking that comment. And here's the thing. I actually saw this on Twitter and X, you know, whatever, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to confirm, is this real? Because a lot of people Photoshop these type of things just to create drama and create this speculation. So I actually DM'd the guy himself, and I showed him the photo, and I asked him, "Hey, is this a real photo? Did 50 like your comment?" He said, "Hey, yes, he did." And I was like, perfect. Thank you for confirming. Thought it was Photoshopped. LOL. Appreciate the response. And he said, "I was surprised as well. Didn't see that coming." So shout out to him for, you know, responding to my DM and confirming that, you know, the comment actually got liked by 50, because, you know, a lot of people Photoshop and spread narratives. So me being the proper journalist, whatever you want to call me, news reporter, I, you know, wanted to go get to the source and see if it was actually real. There is also something that's very interesting that went over a lot of people's heads, and that's the documentary coming out on December 2nd. That Diddy documentary coming out on that date. Literally 2 days later, you have Jay-Z's birthday, December 4th, which to me sends a subliminal message to Jay-Z that you're next. So that's crazy. That just, to me, you know, shows that 50 is potentially gonna work on something going at Jay-Z, and he might get Nicki Minaj involved, because Nicki Minaj has a huge issue with Jay-Z with a lot of things, and I don't even know the full details of that, because she's gone at Jay-Z.
Over time, Jay-Z also grew closer to other influential figures like Diddy, Oprah Winfrey, and exclusive business networks. Whenever 50 Cent felt something in the industry was being handled quietly, he often responded with sarcasm, memes, interviews, and cryptic posts. This time, fans believed it felt different. Many interpreted it as the first moment 50 seemed to issue a direct warning toward Jay-Z, hinting that the Carters could appear in future material. He offered no public proof, but rumors spread quickly because 50 has a track record of turning comments into real media projects. That's how Beyoncé and Jay-Z unexpectedly became central to online debate, driven mostly by fan interpretation rather than verified information. Then Oprah's name entered the conversation. That wasn't due to any new event, but because of 50's long history of criticizing her media choices. In past interviews, he questioned what he viewed as selective attention in certain documentaries and coverage. Those comments are now being revisited, but they remain his opinions, not confirmed allegations. There's also a personal layer people point to. 50 has previously suggested he felt overlooked for not being featured on her platform. At this stage, what we're seeing is a blend of old rivalries, old interviews, and new social media hints merging into one large online narrative. It's still unclear whether it leads to actual disclosures or stays in the realm of speculation, but it shows how quickly industry connections return to public focus when a major figure starts publicly questioning things.
Epstein, he was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them. I have not heard one person denounce, well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that. If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it? All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support them, because it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z, we the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff, but you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there, denounce what he did, or come forward.
As fans revisit older disputes, the conversation keeps getting deeper. Over the years, several artists have shared personal experiences with major media outlets. Ludacris once said he didn't agree with how an interview was edited. Dave Chappelle has spoken about feeling pressure around public appearances. After Precious, Monique discussed industry disputes, while Taraji P. Henson has spoken about pay gaps in Hollywood. These accounts are personal perspectives rather than confirmed investigations, but they're often used in online debates about media representation and influence. Some of these viewpoints have also been publicly supported by 50 Cent. In Oprah's case, the early years of the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls did include documented issues that received media attention and led to policy changes. At the same time, many extreme online theories about Oprah have been debunked and lack evidence. Right now, followers are stitching together recent social media clues, older interviews, and past complaints into a single, broader story. But it's also common for high-profile figures like Diddy, Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Oprah to cross paths through industry events, charity work, business ventures, and media appearances. At that level, overlap is normal. Still, when these moments are viewed collectively during a controversy, audiences start searching for patterns. Whether those relationships indicate anything beyond typical networking remains unclear. What's obvious is that long-standing connections are being re-examined, and the public discussion is far from over.
Beyonce didn't want to speak and does not speak to Brandy. And the truth of the matter is, there she go back there with Monica and Kelly, and there go Patti LaBelle, and then there goes Solange, all right? And there's a reason why Solange is around as well. Because if you guys don't know, for a while, Solange and Beyonce actually were not on speaking terms, but they're back talking now, they're back cool, and basically Solange is around to keep Beyonce spiritually protected. Solange is the spiritual protector of that family. Don't get it twisted. Mama Tina is powerful. Solange is the most powerful list. You better ask some damn body, all right? Now, the reason why Beyonce ain't came to speak to Brandy, baby, is because Beyonce does not talk to anyone who used to sleep with Jay-Z, okay? Whether you guys know it or not, and I have to say allegedly, right? Jay-Z and Brandy used to talk back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean like late 90s type stuff, right? Brandy always kept Jay-Z on the low back in the day because, quite honestly, he was too ugly to be out in public with. I'm just keeping it real. To claim him publicly, he was too ugly back in the day. Now, when you try to search up pictures of Jay-Z and Brandy, you will find... Hold up, let me see. Hold up. Let me see, because I thought I had a picture of them two, Brandy and Jay-Z. Now, this would have been from... let's see, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Brandy and Jay-Z. Okay, there we go. Now, this picture of them was in 2002. All right. And this was, I think was at one of her album release parties, if I'm not mistaken. This was a year after Moesha Rap, because Moesha went off air in 2001. Yes, he was dealing with Beyonce at the time as well. And, Blue Cantrell, he was, let me tell you, Jay-Z was laying it low and spreading it wide. Jay-Z was one of those dudes in the industry that, you know, you messed around with, he piped you down, but before he was really him, you did not claim him publicly because he was just simply too ugly. It was what it was. But Jay-Z was in love with Brandy then. He's not in love with her now, but he still has love and feelings towards her. He's one of those people that feels like once he done had you and once he done loved you, he always feels like he has like possession over you. Jay-Z is one of those kind of men, baby. I don't know if they told you. Jay-Z is extremely jealous, extremely controlling, and extremely possessive. That's another reason why. Hold up. Where the picture go? Wait a minute. Where the picture go? That's another reason why Beyonce up here. Wait. Anyway, y'all get the point. That's another reason why Beyonce, over the years, a lot of the music that she's made, it's always been with him. A lot of the remixes, it's always been with him or somebody that he approves of her to work with, okay? Jay-Z was so damn controlling, he didn't even want her father, talking about Matthew Knowles now, he didn't want her father managing her anymore, and he stepped in. And if y'all notice, when Jay-Z stepped in as Beyonce's manager, the music changed, everything changed, and the money started to get effed up. But that's another story for another day. We're not getting on that right now. We sticking with Brandy and Jay-Z right now. So they started messing around on the low in the 90s. Even to the early 2000s, they were still messing around. I'm not exactly sure which year the relationship officially ended, but just know that Jay-Z was just basically good for, that was what he gave. He gave big, I don't know no other way to put it, but he was like, for the ladies that's watching, you know, like if you ever dealt with like a tall, ugly with big pipe, you went to him to get piped down, but you would not like ever like claim him like that because he was just super ugly. He was what it was. And before he really blew up, didn't nobody want to be seen with him like that. It is what it is. And quite frankly, Jay-Z dated a lot of your favorite female stars from back in the day, but they would.
Diddy and Jay-Z share a long professional history, collaborating on music, attending exclusive events, and moving through many of the same elite social and professional circles. Because of that proximity, Jay-Z and Beyoncé are frequently mentioned in discussions about Diddy's network. Not due to verified accusations, but because of visibility and closeness, sharing rooms at award shows, collaborating, us appearing at private industry events. This kind of overlap is normal at the top level of entertainment. But in today's climate, even a connection can attract intense scrutiny. Fans are paying closer attention to ties that once seemed untouchable. And as older alliances are re-examined, it's still unclear whether that attention will produce real discoveries or simply show how quickly the internet connects dots. One thing is clear, industry networks are under more scrutiny than ever.
Jay signed his contract. The big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career, he had one. Exactly. He had one. He ain't show up. He had like 20 now. He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He got some shit. He started drinking and his pictures with him. He thinks the cop.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades.
Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got it for the music. Jay got it for the music.
You didn't see.
He deserved those.
I'm sitting there, he was like this, like. Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brunch. Like,
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm going to be with you this year. Yeah. Come on, bro.
That's crazy. He's just looking at his watch during the whole Rock Nation, bro. Like, is it 3:30?
Yeah, it's almost time to get out. He's like, yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
Oh, wow. So that's the deal he signed, huh?
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
Oh, yeah, before I forget this, we talked about Jay. Proximity to Diddy. You don't think he knew anything? He's seemingly around Diddy a lot.
That was a real suburb question.
I know, right? Proximity.
Hold on. Proximity.
Proximity. That's the SAT hit grade word. I had to learn that.
Jim, do you think you knew all of the shit that was going on? Yeah, that was like a...
I don't want to incriminate myself.
I know, but the way he said it...
Like I said,
no matter how you answer that, you snitching.
That was a nice kind of
You asked the question like a fan.
hey, I grew up with white people, but one thing I know is how to get a black guy in trouble.
But it's a great question.
Yo, just give him the Happy Meal before you ask him to snitch, bro.
He said, damn, they wasn't even drinking.
Speaking of, how the hell you pronounce
Lechimendewa.
Okay.
It's the King's Path.
King's Path.
Because I know Branson. That's the one I pronounce.
Branson. That's the Branson lifestyle. You're going to be outside.
Pip, you're not worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way? Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up?
I don't got that in my past.
Everybody got a little bit.
Look,
like, not that it's real enough.
I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better. For her to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink so she forget.
Now fans are asking a bigger question. Could this moment change how the public views the entertainment industry? Some believe upcoming documentary material and ongoing speculation could affect partnerships and reputations. Others think it will only fuel more discussion without leading to anything concrete. Either way, audiences get the sense that 50 Cent isn't finished. Whether his next move brings actual disclosures or simply escalates conjecture, the conversation continues to grow louder. In your opinion, is this the start of a larger conflict or just a new phase in an old industry rivalry? Stay tuned, leave a comment below, and subscribe for the next update.